Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about depression, anxiety, and negative thoughts in general. And I'm going to share my own perspective and hopefully it helps someone out. So I'm going to use the advice of Andrew Tate as a reference point to my opinion. He has a very extreme advice on depression, negative thoughts, and anxiety in general. So he says that all kinds of negative thoughts, every kind of mental sadness, illness, and depression is not real. He says, I don't believe in depression, I don't believe in anxiety, I don't believe in sadness, and that is a very extremely polarized way of looking at it. Like, you are completely neglecting the subjective experience that some people go through. Now, Andrew Tate's belief system is simple. He argues that, let's say, for example, let's say you believe in ghosts. So let's say at 3 a.m. you hear a noise at your house, or you hear someone knocking at the door, or maybe at some kind of weird noise, right? So the person that believes on ghosts would probably be scared as hell. Like, he would freak out because he would think that it might be an entity or something. But the person who does not believe on ghosts would probably just say that, oh fuck, it's the wind, go to sleep again. So he uses a similar argument to talk about depression and negative thoughts. He says if you believe in those happenings, like if you believe depression exists, if you believe anxiety exists, they will exist for you. There's some truth in that, because believing in something exaggerates its effects on you, right? So, but now my argument about depression and negative thoughts. So I've gone through some shit, and I've had my fair share of anxiety and stress and depression and periods of grief and extreme sadness in my life. So my take on this is that those feelings can absolutely be real on a subjective level. First, let us understand what depression, anxiety, and negative thoughts actually are. They're a medical name or a clinical psychological name given to subjective negative experiences that we humans sometimes have. Something bad or something emotionally affecting can happen in our lives. Anything could happen, and that could make us distressed or leave us feeling in a very negative state of mind for whatever reason. And those feelings are absolutely real. So what I'm saying different from what Andrew Tate said is that the feeling of depression, the feeling of the negative feeling, the negativity, the feeling of fear, the feeling of detachment, the feeling of numbness could absolutely be real. Those are real, those do happen with people, those have happened with me, right? Now, what I'll argue is those feelings can be real, but the physical impact they have on you is completely controlled by you. So depression, in a sense, is not real. Anxiety is not real. Not real in a physical sense. They might mentally influence you to a degree, but they cannot change your course of action and the way you live your life. That is completely in your choice, right? They can be real as a piece of subjective emotion, but they do not have to force your actions. They do not have to dictate how you behave throughout your life. Right? You can control the degree to what they can affect you. They have no physical harm in you. Because things can absolutely be real. Let's say your mother passes away, your dad passes away. Now you still have a choice to continue your daily routine or be completely derailed. Now that doesn't mean that your mom passing away wouldn't hurt. Of course it would hurt. Of course it would hurt a lot. But you could still, like, how would your mom want you to live your life if she were alive? She would obviously want you to do better, live your routine, and don't fall off the track, right? Even if she passes away. I hope that helped to a degree, right? You're in control of your body and your mind. You could choose to do certain things when you may not find yourself in the best spot to do those certain things.